explore some of the which is there, online. But in interest of keeping this general and also relevant for people without a technical background, we'll not go and cover these. The last bit is one of the feedback we received was, can you tell us about AI use cases in specific areas like medicine and geography and finance? And there were actually a few others also. Again, to keep this general and relevant for everybody, we won't do specific use cases. In today's presentation, I have picked a few use cases which I felt were general. Um, I'm hoping that by seeing those, you will be able to figure out how to use this in your specific domain. Um, so yeah, that's just a quick one on what we will not be covering in today's or in the next session. The agenda is we'll do two content parts and we'll do two hands-on activities. This was again a feedback that we received that many of you want to try out the prompts, many of you want to try out whatever we are learning side by side. So I hope you have your devices ready and are excited to do some hands-on practice and share how things are going. So we'll spend about the next 20 minutes going through the first content part. Then we'll break for 15 minutes to do some hands-on practice about what we've learned. Then we'll do another set of content and then 15 minutes of hands-on practice and end with some time for Q&A. So that's the plan for today. Please be active, please be involved, do spend the time practicing, and of course, we'd love to know how things are going for you as you are learning. Great. Before we jump in, so on the WhatsApp group, there was a lot of different questions that people were asking on, various topics, and I tried my best to address some of the questions. One big one that came up was, will AI replace my job? How do we think about, our careers? And this is something that, I mean, not just you, even I think about it, quite a lot. So I thought it might be nice to kind of address this in today's gathering. And I wish there was, a black and white answer to this and, a straight answer. But like many, many things, we don't have a straight answer. But I'm going to share with you one way of looking at it, one approach. I hope that helps you get started. And of course, as we go along, I think we will all learn more and understand how AI is shaping the world, and being adaptable is another, key thing over here. So without much ado, I'll jump in. So, will AI replace my job? One way to answer this question is using what we call the Kai-Fu matrix. So, Mr. Kai-Fu is a philanthropist, technologist. He's a professor based in Beijing. So, he came up with this matrix to help people understand what roles are safe or relatively safe. We can't say anything really for sure. What is safe, and then what is potentially in the danger zone. So the way to read this is, on the x-axis, we have optimization versus creativity. So roles which are more optimization based, which just means which are very repeatable, which are very clear step by step. There isn't any or there isn't much scope for creativity or strategy. Those are more on the left side. Those roles are in more danger of being automated, especially by AI agents, since it's very clear exactly what needs to be done. Roles which are more creative and strategic in nature, which require thinking on the fly, are more in the safe zone. And then on the y-axis, we have social versus asocial, which is essentially roles which require more human interaction, more human touch. They are in the more safer zone. And roles which require less human touch and don't require as much connection with other people or as much soft skills, so to say, they are in the more sort of danger zone. So you can all, think about it for your chosen profession, for your domain, where it lands on this matrix. The ideal scenario is that, there is more creativity or strategy based work. There should be a more social element to it that would make you more in the safe zone, versus if you are doing a role or you're thinking of a role which is very step by step, it has very clear boundaries, there isn't much human interaction, then those are the roles that potentially are in the danger zone. So that's one way to think about it. Um, this is In addition to this, another thing I wanted to share with you was, which I'd also shared on the WhatsApp group, but I'll sort of reiterate it, is all of us need to have a short term and a medium term strategy with respect to our profession, our career. So in the short term, one way to make yourself irreplaceable or less replaceable by AI would be to start getting really deep into your domain. So, becoming a more subject matter expert rather than a generalist. So, what the predictions basically say is that AI would be able to have a lot of general knowledge about a lot of things. So if your knowledge is the same as the AI's knowledge, then there isn't much differentiation. But if you are able to become a subject matter expert, then you can differentiate yourself from an AI. So whatever your chosen field is, spending more time developing expertise will likely help you, AI proof your career. The second thing is, in the more medium term, trying to shift to more people oriented roles, so more managerial roles, roles which require mentoring younger colleagues, or which require a more human touch. Like those would be roles which are less prone to being replaced by agents. So if you are currently an individual contributor and you are not managing a team, that can be something that you work towards over the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years, because soft skills, communication skills, interpersonal skills, leadership, like these are things that again AI will likely not replace in the next few in the upcoming time. So that is another thing that you can think about as you are doing your career planning. So that's all on this. Let's jump into content part one. We'll spend about 15 minutes going through this content. I'll also demo whatever I'm talking about on ChatGPT, and then we'll break for 15 minutes. We'll all be on this call itself. I'll start a timer for 15 minutes, and um, I would like you to try these prompts for yourself on your devices on your own. Um, Using AI for content creation. Before we go into the prompts itself and the different use cases, this was another thing that came up in the conversation on the WhatsApp group. So I thought we can all discuss this together. So there are some ethical considerations to using AI generated text and AI generated content. So let's break it down a little bit. The first thing is that AI generated text isn't copyrighted by OpenAI. So unlike text that you will find in a book or in some copyrighted space, so websites are copyrighted, books are copyrighted, academic journals are copyrighted. Uh, Unlike that, AI generated text actually isn't copyrighted, which means you can use it without permission or acknowledgement. Like you don't have to necessarily, share that this was generated by AI. Basically, there will be no copyright infringement. On the other hand, if you, for example, take a book and you copy text from it and you don't give acknowledgement, then the author can sue you. Like what you are doing is illegal. So there is that one difference. But having said that, we'll see what is a safer and a more accepted approach to this. The second thing I wanted to draw out for all of you is AI generated text, when used word to word, like exactly as it is, especially in academic settings, can be construed as plagiarism. So, plagiarism basically means trying to pass off somebody else's work as your work. That is what plagiarism is. So, if you copy something word to word and say that I wrote this, that can be construed as plagiarism. um, Humanizing text simply means making the text sound like a human has written it. So AI generated text often reads like, a machine has written it. But there are tools which humanize the content that will only make it easier to read and easier to understand, but it doesn't on its own make it plagiarism proof. So if you are using some of these tools to improve your writing, that's a good thing. Like, it helps the reader understand what you are saying better, but I would still encourage you to only use that as a first draft. Do try to update it, or change the word so that it doesn't get construed as plagiarism. Any kind of text generated by not a human is can be detected. So there are a lot of tools that can detect AI generated text, and they are used quite extensively in academic settings. So um, please be careful with whatever you are doing. Don't I don't want you to get into trouble. So, like I was saying, while it is not illegal to use AI generated text directly, acknowledging the role of AI is the generally safer and accepted approach. So, if you have used, let's say, ChatGPT to do your work, whether it is a report or an essay or an article, then writing something like this at the end is a good practice. And nowadays, you will see a lot of books, a lot of content which have these disclaimers right at the end. So you can say something like, this essay used ChatGPT to generate initial drafts that were subsequently edited and fact checked by the author. So there is no problem in acknowledging the role that an AI tool has played in your work. It is actually the safer and a very accepted approach. So, and we will see this more and more as we go along, that we'll see authors, we'll see journalists, we'll see people all around us actively acknowledging the use of AI tools. And it is something that we know will only happen more and more. It is very unlikely in the future that suddenly people will stop using AI tools. So, assuming that it's only going to increase, the right way to do it would be to be open, to be honest, and to um, acknowledge what you have used AI specifically for. So, with that, we move forward to crafting effective prompts. This we had covered in the last session. Very quickly, we talked about, what are the components of a good prompt. We should be specific, provide relevant information, use a framework, iterate and refine. So I won't go into this again since we talked about it. And as we go through the prompts, it will also become more clear on how to do this. The other thing I wanted to draw out was, it is very important to provide context to improve results. So one is the prompt itself that you will write. So whatever is the instruction that you share with ChatGPT to get the output that you are looking for. That's the prompt. The other thing that can really help you get good results is fill out the personalization section within settings. This will apply itself to all your projects and chats. So basically, go to the settings over here. Go to, personalization is right here within settings, and fill this out. Like, give custom instructions, tell it a little bit about you, so that whatever it is generating, as in whatever ChatGPT is generating, it is going to personalize it based on who you are and what you do. Do this. The second thing is to create a note about, assuming you're using ChatGPT for your company work, Create a note about your company, about your role, about your goals. Let's say you are doing this for academic settings. There also you can describe your research, you can describe your role, your academic focus, and attach this note whenever you are creating new projects. So that I'll give you I'll show you what these notes look like. Just give me one quick second. Uh, yeah, I'll just share my entire screen again. Share. Yeah, can you all see my screen now? Okay. So, yeah, so this is a note I've written about Wisdom Circle. See, this is a one-time effort that you will have to take. It's, of course, time consuming, but after you've done it once, you don't have to do it again and again. And let's say I am doing some very specific product work, I'm creating a new feat, like I'm creating a product requirement document for a new feature. If I don't tell ChatGPT everything about Wisdom Circle and its platform, then it will not know. Like there's no way that ChatGPT will know on its own about Wisdom Circle. So this is a detailed note about what is already there, what are the different users, what are the different constraints. So little things like a profile can only be between 20% to 60%. Then what the user cannot do, if a profile is above 60%, what a user can do. It is a one time information, and the more detailed you make this note, the better it is going to be for you. So this is again another thing that we need to be careful about. Are you all able to see the presentation at this point? Okay, great. So, that's what I mean. Create a note about your company, about yourself. Like, depending on what the use case is, you can attach these notes when creating new projects, so you don't have to give context over and over. And the last bit is share examples of the desired output. So, whatever you are doing, if you know what the end result should look like, or you have some good examples, like let's say you want a LinkedIn post, sharing examples of your LinkedIn posts that have worked well always improves the output. So, yeah, basically, initial results might not look like what you want. Don't give up. ChatGPT improves with time. So in case you tried it, let's say a few months ago, and the result wasn't great, and you thought, oh, this tool doesn't really work, I'll suggest you give it another chance, just like you would give, an intern or like a person who's new to work, a few chances. Give ChatGPT also a few chances. It really does improve with time, the more you work on it. So one, the models are improving, which is the work that OpenAI is doing. So models improve, results improve. But what can you do as a user? You can also keep using it, and therefore, the more you use it and iterate on your work, the better it will become. So if you have in the past not been very impressed, please give it another chance. With this, um, let's start with something simple like an email drafting assistant. All of us use emails. We keep getting emails, from all kinds of stakeholders. And answering emails or drafting like good responses does become something that, we have to do. So let's create an assistant for this. I'm using the free version of ChatGPT. At some point, we'll run into limits about the number of files we can upload and things like that. At that point, I'll switch to a paid version. You have the choice to either wait. So in 24 hours, your limits will be refreshed, or you can upgrade as well. So that's something. One quick thing about projects versus threads. So on ChatGPT, you will see there are projects over here and there are chat threads over here. Both are searchable, so you can use either. If you feel something will be used again and again, like an email assistant you think you will need again and again, it's better to create a project. If something is a one-time thing, you can create a chat. Even if you need to come back to it later, you can use the search chat feature to find it. So it's even if you want to change your decision later, you can change your decision. So I'm going to start with creating my email drafting assistant. I'm going to create a new project. Um, I'll call it email assistant. Um, as I was creating this presentation, I created a few. So this is, um, okay, there's some error. Let's see if it fixes. Okay, I'll just show you an existing one. I'm not sure why there's an error over there. Maybe I'll log out and log in to find it. But yeah, I kept these ready in case we ran into any trouble. So act as my email drafting assistant, carefully study tone and structure of the attached email examples. So basically, you download some of your, you can see both screens, right? Like you can also see the email examples. So, just basically the examples will help clarify what is your tone. Like, how do you write? Do you use numbers? Do you use bullet points? Things like that. So it makes all of that tone, clear. So the more examples you give, the better. And then you can share the email for which you want to draft a response. Here again, I'll show you a quick shortcut. So let's say that this is the email that you have received. So there's a user, and they're asking uh, to let you know about. They're asked, like, this is an email that came to Wisdom Circle, and there's a user who wants to know about teaching opportunities. Now, instead of copying the text, another thing you can do is screenshots. So wherever you need, feel free to use screenshots. It's much simpler, faster than copying text. And sometimes the formatting gets, off. So you can copy the screenshot, paste it, and say draft a response to this user, asking them to sign up and find relevant roles. Um, You can try something like that. And then the response would be more, because you've shared examples, more in line um, with your tone. So subject, the response, and it's always good. Like if you feel that, there's something off with the response, you can very much, ask for iterations and feedback. So that would be a quick uh, email assistant that you can create. The next example I have is of a LinkedIn post assistant. Here I want to show you using Canvas mode. If you've used it already, very good. If you haven't, it is a pretty nice offering that ChatGPT has, where you can edit in real time and you can also collaborate using Canvas. So many times what happens is, like, this is the output, right? Like this is what ChatGPT has created. I just want to change this one line. The rest of it is correct. But the way many of us do it, we'll copy this, then we'll go to Word or we'll go to our email and then we'll start editing over there. An alternative method of doing this is to use the Canvas mode. So what I'll do is, let's try if the new project is working now. Then we can try it there. If it doesn't, then I have another option. Okay, there's something off right now. During the break, I'll just check and let's see if we can fix that. We'll use the LinkedIn post assistant for now. So this is the prompt I used. Act as my drafting assistant, carefully study the tone, I've shared examples. So that's what had happened in the first chat. Like I had given examples of my own writing. And okay, this is not the first one. I'd given examples of my own writing. Like you can just copy and create PDFs. So LinkedIn post, your own LinkedIn post, just, you can print screen. Like that much is also enough. It doesn't have to be text. Like ChatGPT is able to read screenshots. So feel free to just add images, of text. You don't have to create beautiful Word documents or anything. And so I've given examples of how I write and created this assistant. And you can say, draft a new LinkedIn post outlining how so Wisdom Circle works on like I've shared, like connecting senior professionals with opportunities um, posted by organizations. So I want to write a thought leadership post about outlining benefits of hiring senior professionals for workplace culture, like how they can um, for improving workplace culture. So I do that, and then it's going to give me the first draft, and then we'll use Canvas to improve that draft. So I say open in Canvas mode. So now that output that was given, you can create it in an editable format. So let's say, okay, point one is a good point two is a good point, but yeah, maybe point three isn't so great. So you can delete it right here. So you can make whatever edits you want, add words, remove words, edit it here. And the interesting part is you can share this. So I'll create a link, and then you can share this link with your colleagues or whoever you want, and anyone with the link can open this. Your whole chat messages won't get shared. Simply this part will get shared. So I'll actually paste this in the chat so that you can open it in your chat GPT and see what it is. So if you're working with somebody, then you can directly share these links with them, and they can continue working on it on their ChatGPT tool. So that's what the canvas mode looks like. You can also go back and change the prompt altogether. So this part remains the same. This part is the canvas mode part. So okay, so going back, the last thing, and then we'll break for some practice. The last thing I wanted to show you in this content section was the was how do you build a research assistant, and the thinking more and deep research mode. So all of these modes, by the way, are here. So think longer, deep research, study and learn is also another mode. Not going into it today, but do explore. Canvas is over here, web search is here. You can also connect your Google Drive, your OneDrive, and then instead of attaching files every time, you can just reference the file name, and ChatGPT would know what to do. So we just talked about Canvas. We'll take a second to discuss Think Longer and Deep Research. The difference between the two simply is that Think Longer is deeper reasoning within existing knowledge. So whatever the model has been trained on, that information will be referenced. Deep research is when the model can go in addition to its existing knowledge. So going online to gather new and live information. That's the difference between the two. Think Longer will not look at necessarily new information in the web. Deep research will. So depending on your use case. So for example, if I am looking to create new feature ideas, then Think Longer will also work. But if I want to if I want to create a list of competitors, here, or do some kind of market research, here having the latest information is very relevant, like very important. So for that, you should use the deep research mode. So that's the difference between this could just, you could just copy paste this kind of prompt. And one thing you could try is use the same prompt, but ask it to do deep research or ask it to do think longer, and see the difference in the results. One thing to note is that in the free version, there are limited deep research questions you can ask. Think longer is unlimited. So that's you can always use that. Deep research is limited by in the free version, so you can wait for it to refresh and things like that. The other differences, the other thing to notice, sometimes ChatGPT itself, based on your question, even if you don't tell it to do it, it will default. So for example, if I say act as a product analyst, create a list of features for Wisdom Circle, there is a chance that, like right now, it didn't use thinking longer. It just directly went to answering the question. Um, Sometimes you would see that, it would say thinking longer, thought for 1 minute, 30 seconds. That's when you know that it has used the thinking longer function. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to specifically say think before you answer. And you'll see that there will be like this, step will happen. And you can like it would be good for you to see the difference in both the output. So here it's just a general list. Let's see, it's a general list of you can do this, you can do this. Here, when I've asked it to think longer, each of the feature ideas is in more detail. There's a better explanation of effort. This is a medium effort. These are the KPIs. This is the value of doing it. So the output quality generally improves when you use the think longer and the deep research modes. Of course, it will take a few extra seconds to generate these answers. So I'm going to take a pause over here. We are at 11:40. Let's take 10 minutes to try some of these for yourself, and do share in the chat how things are going. If you have any doubts, I'll just start a timer here, and we'll start with the next part in exactly 10 minutes. Feel free to also add your questions to the chat. Asba and I are looking at the chat. Towards the end, we'll pick up questions that are relevant for everybody, and also, uh, uh, share with everyone. In the meantime, I'm going to log out and log in to see if it starts working again.
So, Joanna, it would be amazing. Like there might be certain people who might lost track to what exactly to do. If you can just repeat and guide them as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Uh, just give me one quick second. I'm going to see if this is working now. What I would recommend you do is the three things that we just talked about. Please create a new project, create your email drafting assistant. Um, if you are able to think of a use case that is relevant for you in your work, please use that use case. If you are not feeling so creative right now, you can just try what we've done here. What I'll do is I'll paste these prompts in the chat. So prompt number 1 was about the email. Prompt number 2 was a LinkedIn post assistant. And prompt number, these are not really prompts, like you should ideally write something better, but just try the think, think deeper versus deep research modes. Yeah. Let's see if new project is working now. It was working till this morning. I actually created these projects. Maybe there is some upgrade going on OpenAI's side. That's why I can see a few other people are also getting the same errors. So try it after some time. These things do happen, and if all of us are facing it, the problem is likely on, ChatGPT's side. It should resolve. I did make all these projects, so there's no good reason why it should not work. What you can do is just create chats in the meantime, and with chats also you can attach files. So there's no, uh, there's no trouble. Sorry, my computer is hanging. There's no trouble with that. Just start a chat, use the plus button. You can also drag and drop. So that can help. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second and close a few tabs and then start sharing again. So we have gone through all of this, and okay, let's jump into part two, which is, let me just start present mode. Okay, so using ChatGPT for research and data analysis. Before we jump in, just a couple of data safety considerations. Um, Please don't upload personal information of any users or even your own personal information like mobile numbers, email ID, your Aadhaar card, PAN card, those kind of information. Please don't upload, or any kind of company's sensitive information. Even if you've turned off the model improvement settings, or if you plan to delete the chat later, like those are some things you could do. Your data is retained for a certain period of time. So this is mentioned in ChatGPT's terms of service. Every company has to save data for a certain period of time for legal requirements. So even at Wisdom Circle, for example, we do have to save the data of our users for a certain period of time, even if they have deleted it. So this is a common thing. All technology companies do it, not just ChatGPT. So the better way is for us as users to be informed and to be careful when we are uploading and sharing information. The second point is the same as earlier. Do acknowledge AI's work, AI's role in your work. For example, saying that a part of this report was drafted and researched using ChatGPT. You can say that article was written with assistance from AI tools, but all the content was reviewed and verified by the author. Those are just some, best practices that we should all follow. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll just go through the slides and show you the different prompts and paste those prompts in the chat, and then I'll go to ChatGPT and try it over here. If it works, good. If it doesn't, I'll switch to my other account and we can have a look at it over there. So, extracting data from reports, there are three use cases I'm going to show you today. There are, of course, many, many more use cases, and you can, you know, there's no end to what, this tool can do for you. Hopefully, these three use cases will give you a sense of the different options there are, and then you can contextualize it to your own work situation. So, for example, what I'm doing over here is getting a report and then using ChatGPT to summarize it and also find, the key findings. So, for example, if you've got a 10-page report and you don't want to go through all the information, what you can do is use ChatGPT to create an executive summary, highlight the important findings, share relevant quotes with page numbers so that, if you are wanting to use this report in your own article or in your email, then you can share relevant portions of it. And this was an interesting one where if assuming ChatGPT knows about you, about your work, you've attached all that context, then you can also say identify 3 points that directly connect with your organization's work. Explain why they matter and how they could inform your strategy or positioning. So try these kind of prompts beyond summarization. ChatGPT is pretty good with uh, these kind of use cases. So I'm going to attach a report. It might take a few seconds. It's a long report to attach, and then we can see what the output is. Uh, let's do the second one. We'll come back and see what progress this attachment has made. The second one is identifying patterns in data or doing exploratory analysis. So, what I have done is I downloaded a file of the onboarding information of the users. And what I want is for ChatGPT to do an exploratory data analysis, identify some patterns, some trends, any anomalies that it sees, and share its findings in a structured way with visuals. So this is a very generic prompt. You When you are doing your work, please edit the prompts to make it relevant for your data file, for your work. I'm just sharing slightly more generic ones here, so it's relevant for everyone. Okay, this has still not attached, so we'll need to take a second. You'll have to wait for the whole thing to get attached even to send this first prompt. Um, ठीक है, let's keep going. The third thing that you can do is classification or classification type of analysis or sentiment type of analysis. So here, what I've asked ChatGPT to do is this is a specific example from Wisdom Circle. You'll see the prompt is very clear, very specific to what it requires. So your prompts should also reflect this kind of detail for you to get the kind of result that you are looking for. So here what I've said is I have a raw file which has two columns, headline suggested and about suggested. And the task that the tool has to do is to review each row and flag entries which are problematic. So, for example, if a user has said something inappropriate or offensive or unprofessional, then you want to catch that. Now, one option is you manually go through rows and rows of data, right? Like you can flag everything. The other way is to use a tool like ChatGPT to go through lots of data and just flag wherever a human should intervene. So I've told it what the criteria for flagging is. I have asked ChatGPT to mark all entries by highlighting rows in yellow. Uh, it can ignore empty cells because empty just means the user has not added them. So that's not a problem. If the problem is if a user has added something inappropriate. And so I've asked it to ignore this, add two new columns, headline, like the explanation why ChatGPT thought, this thing should be flagged, and then share the final result as an Excel file. So let's see. Okay, this has happened now. So we can see this, and then I'll show you what this one looks like with an actual file. So here, if you see, it has gone directly to the thinking mode instead of answering right away. So sometimes, the tool itself will realize that here it's better to think longer and then answer the user's question. So it will directly go there, even if you've not explicitly told it to use the think longer mode. So we'll give it a few. This could actually, now take maybe a minute, even 2 minutes to go through and, give you answers. But the result will definitely be um, a good, a good sort of output, like something useful that you can actually, benefit from. Some of the times you would have seen that, the answer that you get is so generic that there isn't anything that you can do with it. Like it feels like you should have only read the report and, found the highlights or found the answers. So if you are facing that kind of problem, use the think longer mode and give it a few minutes to come up with come up with an answer. So this is what we have here. In the meantime, I'll show you. Okay, it has started generating. So you see it has thought for 1 minute 25 seconds. Um, so I had asked for three things: an executive summary, the top findings, and relevance to my company. So executive summary, uh, the top five findings of the report, along with quotes and reference numbers, so that I can go directly and read only those portions um, of the report. Like I was saying, it's a long report, about, I think, if I remember, about 20 pages or so. So it took a little time to go through. And then here are the points which are relevant for Wisdom Circle, like three connections or practical actions. Um, cool. So that's one example. I really want to show you the um, other one. So I'm going to copy this and add the query. So the original file, okay, I should have shown you the original file. The original file only had two columns, headline suggested and about suggested. That's all it had, where the headline was a LinkedIn style headline and the about was a profile introduction. So that's what the thing was. And now, yeah, so as you can see, now I've also reached my data analysis limit. And it's asking me to try again tomorrow or, upgrade. So you can see what you would like to do. I just want to show you the output here. Wait, I'll have to. You can't see the Excel file right now, right? Like, let me stop and share again. Screen share. Okay, it's opening on Excel. Once it opens, you can have a look. Let me copy the prompts and add them to the chat in the meantime. Okay. Yeah. So here is the Excel file that it generated. Let me just clear up the columns a little bit so you can see. But you can see the yellow flags. Like the yellow flags are what ChatGPT wants me to read and review. If I were to do this manually, then of course there were a lot more, like it would take a lot more time than this to go through. And what I asked it to do was also tell me an explanation of why did ChatGPT think I should look at it? One is just highlighting, and then you are left wondering why do I have to review this? Um, Perfect. So this is a review. This is a highlighted one, and the reason is too long for a LinkedIn headline. So that's why this has been highlighted. Okay, I see there are some places where explanation is not written. That also happens sometimes, like ChatGPT won't follow exactly all your instructions. You have to go back and say, follow all my instructions, think longer, and then the output might improve. So I can see over here yeah, some have been, there are highlights, but the explanation is missing. Um, Too long for LinkedIn headline. I can also see there's some issue with where the highlighting has happened. So what I'll do is I'm going to go back. Okay. Acha, this will not work because I've got to my limit. What I'll do is we'll stop for practice time. I'll run this again and I'll show you the output. Let me just add the prompts to the chat so that you can all get started. That was one. This was another. And this is the third prompt. So we'll take time, we'll take the next 10 minutes. It's 12:05. Let's do this till 12:15 for 10 minutes. And then we will break into the Q&A time. ठीक है. Yeah, what could be the issue with ChatGPT not following all instructions? There could be many issues. It hasn't thought longer. It has basically prioritized answering your question as opposed to going through all the responses. There is a difference actually in the paid version versus the free version. What I'll do is I'll log out from here. Let's do this on the paid version. There is a difference in the rate limits. Like I missaid that. I don't think the accuracy should be very different because the model used is the same. So the accuracy is not going to be very different. Speed might be slightly different because they do prioritize the paid users. And like I said, the limits are not there. So you can do a lot more, especially in these data kind of, use cases. If you're using the free version, you'll run into data limits very quickly. And then, you'll get stuck. So if you think you might use this a lot more, it might be worth paying for the next paid version. We'll also share this presentation with all of you. So all the prompts are also there in the presentation, so you can get a sense from there. ठीक है, let's try this again. I hope you're all trying it for your specific use cases. Okay, this is the, so this is still the input file. Wait, let's see. Okay, maybe I'll show you a file from yesterday when I tried this. Uh, yeah, this is before I had asked it to give me explanations. So this is just flagging, but true and false. And then I realized that it doesn't really help for me to know if there is a flag or not. What I am interested in is the explanation. So it's there. Yeah. So this is another good one where it's here it was talking about the empty or missing content, and then I added that to my prompt saying don't flag empty missing content because that's not really helpful for me. Uh, let's try the think uh, longer. Let's try this and see if the output improves. I hope you're all also trying it. And it will take a few times. Like this is really expected behavior that one, every time it's not going to give you the same result. And two, you have to keep iterating till you get what you are looking for.
Hi, Joanna. Till then, can I ask a question apart from the discussion?
Sure, go ahead.
Mm. Actually, I had tried to give a PDF for my content. So, does ChatGPT give the correct PDF?
Did you
Yep.
ask for the content in PDF format? I didn't
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
the
yeah,
question.
yeah. Correct one. It was in Arabic language. So I asked ChatGPT to give those content in a PDF format. So then it asked me to upload OTF file. So I uploaded that, but still it was not in a correct format. So will it work or not?
Honestly, Aisha, assuming I
Mhm.
have understood your question, you have a PDF in Arabic and then you also uploaded the
No, no,
OTF
no, no,
file.
no. I had a plain text in Arabic.
Okay.
So I wanted that in a PDF format.
Hmm.
Uh, so it asked me to upload an OTF file of Arabic language. Uh, so I uploaded that, and then it was not in a. It gave me the PDF, but the content was not exact. So will it work, or is it for the upgrade version?
I don't know if this is an upgrade issue, honestly. I think the issue is likely the use case itself. Like, maybe it's not like that. If assuming translation is what you were looking for over here, uh,
Mhm.
it's not like some languages there is more content in some languages there is less. So if you do English to French, for example, it will work better, but maybe Arabic to English is not going to work as well because the training data is not there. So um, I don't think upgrading is the solution over here. We'll just have to wait for the models to get better. What I would
Okay.
suggest is use Google Translate. Like if translation is what you're looking for, then there
No,
are other tools which are
I
better.
wasn't looking for the translation, but I was looking just my content, which I had given in a text, like plain text format. So that should be there in in a PDF.
So you could export the file as a PDF. You don't really need ChatGPT for this, no? Like
So yeah,
you're
I
not
was just
looking
trying.
for.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I know that, but I was just trying with the chat GPT.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. I think we as users also have to be like with trial and error, we'll see that some things it's better to not use ChatGPT. Like it's better to just use the functionality that exists because it will try to do something extra which you actually don't require.
Yes.
So if you are only looking to convert a text file to PDF, just export it as PDF is better than using ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Sorry, it took me a second to understand what you were looking for. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. No problem.
so, yeah, so going back to the example that we were discussing, think longer and go row by row seems to have helped the output. So now you can see that certain headlines and introductions have been flagged for being either overly promotional or solicitation heavy. Basically, solicitation is asking people to reach out to them, which is probably not what you want in your introduction. So there are flags and then there are explanations of why ChatGPT thought this is worth a human looking at again. So this is exceeding the LinkedIn headline length, exceeds LinkedIn headline length. So yeah, I hope that gave you a sense of it's not always going to work in the first go. Like expect it to not work in the first go. But if you're able to identify what is the issue, then you give prompts to make it better. We are at 12:16, so we have a few minutes to answer questions. Asba, do you want to pick the questions we should discuss with the group?
Absolutely. So now I would really like to encourage everyone, please feel free to raise your hand and ask question. No question is a silly question. Please feel free to drop in your doubt. In case you are not able to speak, we are opening the chat box as well to take up certain questions. And yeah, so please raise your hand and put your questions in the chat box as well. And just an FYI, by tonight we will open the WhatsApp group as well. So you can just go ahead and drop your questions in the chat box, in the WhatsApp group, and Joanna will be more than happy to take it from there too. So yes, Sayeda, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Ispa. Hi, Joanna. It was a very nice session. My question is regarding the first slide, which was shared regarding the professions, which are in the danger zone and which are not. So there was a radiologist career also. You put it in a danger zone because of AI that can be in danger. So I wanted to know, like, is it that can be improvised? I mean, AI can be used as an helping hand for that particular profession, or that particular profession is altogether in a very danger zone where you advise people to not to take up that profession currently, because my sister is looking forward to a course in radiology. So I just wanted to have to know, like, whether we have a career in it or no, or like what will you suggest?
Thank you. Thank you for that question, Saida. So, quick clarification, I didn't create the matrix itself. I just copied it, and radiologist was an example that was added over there. I think the idea was that a radiologist is likely, unlike a doctor, maybe less interaction with patients, and the role requires repetitive steps. I don't know enough about radiology itself to answer the question. Um, what I would say is that if a particular role is very repetitive and very rules bound, those roles are likely in more danger of getting automated. Whereas something else which requires creative thinking, requires more human interaction, like those are likely more safe. Uh, so I don't think it's a black and white answer of become a radiologist versus not. So I don't think we should. It would be right for me to guide your sister or share a suggestion of whether they should go forward or not. There are um, lots of considerations, right? Like if she's really interested in this field and if she's looking to become a domain expert, those are, of course, very much in demand. So A radiologist could also be somebody who teaches other students, could also be a professor. So it's not like just because you're a radiologist, your career is over. You can think about how can you make it such that, it is AI proof. So I don't think we should think about, all radiologists are a no-no, or all writers, are going to get replaced, or graphic design is going to, not be a valuable skill. That's not really the way to think about it. The way to think about it is, um, how do you ensure that your work involves creativity, involves strategy, involves more other humans, managing other humans. So as long as your profession is going in that direction, you should be uh, in a good place.
Thank you, Joanna. It helps.
Thank you, Saida, for asking that question.
Okay, so for everyone, we have dropped down the feedback form and the attendance form in the chat box. So please feel free, go ahead and do that. So there was some error which was showing for the audience that the link was old. So yes, the link is old. Now it's open again for the feedback, so you can just go ahead and do so. And at the same time, please let us know if you are able to access the attendance and the feedback form. So yes, please go ahead and yeah, mark your attendance. At the same time, your feedback really matters to us. It is helping us to get better, and we can also understand with that what our community is looking forward. So yes, your attendance will only and only be marked if you will fill this form, and at the same time we will do our verification from the Zoom recording meeting as well. But yes, it's in the chat box. Please feel free, go ahead and mark your attendance, and let us know in case if you are facing any issue in filling up the form. And yeah, we are about to take some more questions till then. So Joanna, we have this question: how chatbots can be used to enhance learning of a student, as a student and as a teacher? Very specific.
Yeah, it's a good question. You can think of chatbots as a tool. So a chatbot is essentially a conversation. Like if two human beings are having a conversation, one of them is a bot and the other one is you. So a student could use it to ask doubts. You can ask it to check your answers. That would be some ways in which students can use chatbots. For teachers, again, I'm not so sure how you would use the chatbot, but maybe to check answers, like if students have shared answers with you and you are looking for a quick way to go through the answers, you could use something like a chatbot.
Sounds good. So for the ease of our attendees, you can scan the code as well and mark your attendance and the feedback. So take out 2 minutes. It'll hardly take 2 minutes. And we will not be able to share this again with you. So those who are sitting in this room right now will be only eligible for marking the attendance. So take 2 minutes and share your feedback and attendance. Until then, yes, Ms. Bug, go ahead and you can ask your question. And I will highly encourage everyone, please feel free to raise your hand. And definitely, we are taking the questions from the chat. But yeah, this is your space. So take your time and go ahead and ask the question. So over to you, Ms. Ba.
Okay, hi Jonah. The session was good. Most of my doubts are clear. You told that we should not upload our ID proofs and all on ChatGPT or any AI tool. So, while applying for any job, I have seen most of the companies asked to upload ID proof, and they have a AI detector for that to verify that you are the person who are applying for the job. So is it safe?
Yes, Ms. Ba. So, if you are doing this on, some kind of job portal, and during the form they are asking you to, upload an ID proof, and they are trying to verify is your name the same as the name in the ID proof. That's all expected, and a safe use of the AI tool. And here the onus is on the company to, keep your data safe, ensure that there is no leakage. So in these cases, it's fine to upload. And uh, many times you won't be able to go forward if you don't upload. So given that, I think you should, do what is required to move forward with whatever task you are looking for. What I was referring to was more, you as the user uploading, because then the responsibility is yours. So if you, Misbah, have, let's say, uploaded the data of 100 users and then there is a data leak, then the responsibility is on you, and you don't want that kind of liability on yourself. So I would recommend you don't do it for other people's information. But if you have to take some action, take some step, in some other portal, then you have to use your judgment. If it looks legitimate, you should go ahead. If it is looking shady, if the website is only looking a little scammy, then again be careful and don't upload over there.
So, how to detect that the website is shady?
I mean, there again, I wish there was a straight answer, right? How do you detect scams? I wish it was black and white like that. But unfortunately, it's not. I would say you can Google about the website itself, see what Google says. A lot of times the scams are reported. So people do, share, don't upload your data on this particular website. So before doing that, do check. Google is a good, very basic level check that you should do.
Okay, thank you so much.
So, Joanna, there is this one question in the chat box that while working on my literature review, I often use ChatGPT to generate summaries and references. However, I have found that many of the references it provides are fabricated. What are some effective ways or tools I can use to ensure that it's from reliable source?
That's a good question. And especially if you are doing your research, in an area that doesn't have a lot of data, then chances of hallucinations are higher. Um, I would actually say don't use AI, like don't use an AI tool to create references and citations. Like that is something that you should do ideally yourself. Because in those cases, there are chances that it will get something wrong, and in an academic setting you don't want to get it wrong. So my suggestion is just the citations, like the summary is fine, the citations part you should probably write on your own.
And another question, Joanna, that we have is there is one trend going with Google Gemini of creating figurines and pictures. Some people say it is dangerous, and some other people say it is safe because AI never saves and uses your pictures and data. What are your thoughts about it?
um, AI does use your data. So all the chats with ChatGPT, even your images with Gemini, unless there is a very specific setting that you turn on, even in that case, they will save your data. It will be retained. It may not be used for model training. The default is that everything is used for model training, but even if you turn that setting off, your data is still saved with the company for a specific amount of time. Um, so as long as you're not uploading something, see, when you upload something on Instagram, you have a sense, right? Like, is this worth sharing with everybody? Is it, too sensitive? Like, you don't want it to be out there in the world. So you have to use your judgment while using these tools. So if you would upload it on Instagram and you're okay with, your friends seeing it, then it's probably okay. But you won't, for example, upload your Aadhaar card on Instagram, right? Like, that you have to keep your Aadhaar card safe and it's not public information. So then don't do that with tools like ChatGPT or Gemini and others as well. I hope that helps get a sense.
Yes, absolutely. Over to you, Sidra. We have 2 more minutes, so we'll take 2 questions. So yeah, Sidra, go ahead.
Thank you for the session. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the session, especially giving us practical practice time as well. So it was very helpful. I have two questions. Mainly, I use ChatGPT on mobile because of easy access. So it on the top it said like saved memory full, but I haven't noticed what is the difference. I got this. No, it's on my on the top of it since like few months now, but I'm able to generate chats and it gets saved whether it's chats or threads. So I haven't noticed anything particular. So I want to know what is it. And second is like, do you miss out a lot when we use ChatGPT on phone, or is laptop? I mean, better is Windows or something better? Yeah.
So I'll answer the second question first.
Mhm.
It's the same whether you use it on your phone or on your laptop. It's not device specific. There might be some difference in this functionality. Like when you use Facebook on your phone versus Facebook on your laptop, some features might be different, but um, your data is still the same. The speed of data upload might be different, but that's not related to Facebook. That's related to your internet connection. And generally, phone internet is slower. On your desktop, you are likely using Wi-Fi, so that might be faster. So the that's got nothing to do with like the tool itself, right? So if you use ChatGPT on your phone versus ChatGPT on your laptop, it should work essentially the same. Coming to your first question about memory being full, I think you might have to go back into your settings. And over time, it has saved a bunch of your chats. So you might want to, delete that. That's what I think it is. I'm not 100% sure either. What I would do if I was in your situation is ask ChatGPT what that warning is about and how do you go through.
Okay, thank you. And just one more thing, when you said for model improvement, by default, does ChatGPT take it like as a yes?
Yeah, you should go to your settings and turn off model improvement if you don't want it to train on your data.
Okay, thank you then. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So we just take one last question. So yes, Anjuman, you can go ahead.
Now I'm audible.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am, for the great session. I'm not taking it too much time. Actually, to be honest, I'm very familiar for the AI tool. Okay. So when you say okay, you go to the email, LinkedIn like that. So when I started open the chat GPT and logged in, but I'm not to see this kind of things. So I'm really confused for it. So let me know okay, how where should I go? I started. Yes.
I didn't really get the question. Aspa, were you able to understand?
No, Anjuman, your voice was breaking a lot. So if you can fix your mic or you can drop your question in the chat box, that will be helpful so that we can
And now,
understand. No, we are not
now
able
I'm
to.
audible.
No, your voice is breaking a
Okay.
lot.
Okay, I will chat.
Yeah, you please drop down in the chat box as well. We'll be more than happy to take it.
Or
So
even a WhatsApp group, like feel
yeah,
free to, put your, assuming you're on the WhatsApp group, all of you are, please feel free to add your questions there and we can respond. And it'll be helpful for everybody else also to see in case they had the same or similar kind of doubt.
perfect. So with this, we are at the closure of our session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And at the same time, thank you so much for taking the initiative to work for yourself. And that's something we always love to see as team hosting the events, as facilitator, taking out time over a weekend, and at the same time as this active community working on yourself. It's so good to see you all. And the next session will be on 18th of October, and that will be your last session. But before that, we have some really amazing things coming up for you. So keep an eye over the WhatsApp group. We will open the WhatsApp group by tonight, so you can drop down your questions and queries over there. Joanna is there in the group as well, so we'll keep the communication going. And at the same time, if you have any resources at the same time, anything from which we can learn and your cohort, your tribe can learn, please feel free to share, because yes, we are learners and at the same time we are growing and learning together. So help us in getting better as well. So we have an amazing event in New Delhi coming up. I'll share the details soon with all of you over the WhatsApp. So keep an eye for sure. We have very limited seats, very limited reservations for that. So yeah, don't miss it. Till then, enjoy your weekends, and yes, definitely Sayeda will bring more events to all the cities, so keep an eye over the social media and all the channels, and yeah, see you in the next session. So thank you so much everyone, enjoy your weekends.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.